This video is sponsored by Squarespace. What's up guys, it's Aaronitmar, and today we are going to be rambling some more about Mii Fighter costumes for Smash Ultimate. You guys seem to enjoy the first two videos that I did on this subject, so who am I to deny the people what they want? So I did my best to look in the comments for cool ideas while also getting some ideas from my own brain, and we are going to talk about them now, obviously, because that's what this video is about. So first up is a Mii Gunner skin based on the Octoling. Octolings were enemies in Splatoon 1 and became playable characters / allies in Splatoon 2, and they are a big part now of the Splatoon series. We of course have Inkling as a fighter, and with the Splatoon 1 and 2 versions of the Inkling Mii Gunner costume, I think it just makes perfect sense for there to be an Octoling variant as well. The Smash team does not seem shy about referencing Splatoon and using it in Smash wherever they can. I mean, the most recent batch of Mii Fighter costumes that we got included Callie and Marie, so it would be very cool to see Octolings referenced as well. And if not Octolings, I think the other great idea would be Pearl and Marina. Pearl and Marina are a pop duo who basically replaced Callie and Marie from Splatoon 1 in Splatoon 2. While they are characters in the Splatoon universe, as far as the player is concerned, they basically serve to tell the player how the multiplayer aspects of the game have updated since the last time they've played. But just like Callie and Marie, Pearl and Marina have a huge fan base, and I assume that people would love to see them be added as Mii Fighter costumes, so those are my ideas. Octolings as a generic costume, or specifically Pearl and Marina for the Mii Gunners. Following that, let's talk about a new sword fighter skin, which is gonna make people mad maybe, Lyn from Fire Emblem. I think and I hope that we're all Fire Emblemed out for the rest of the DLC for Smash Ultimate. I of course could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I do think that Byleth is the last Fire Emblem character we're going to see, which means that we have plenty of opportunity to include more characters as Mii Fighter costumes from that series. Fire Emblem is really unique in that a ton of people have a ton of opinions about which Fire Emblem character they would like to see. From Lance users to bow users to Pegasus riders or whatever they're called. There's just so many different characters that people want to see in Smash. And since I don't think we're going to get Lyn as a full-on fighter, I think having her be a Mii Fighter costume would be cool. I know that a big claim to fame that she has is that she is a bow and arrow user, but she could easily work very well as a sword fighter as well. For a series whose claim to fame is basically having a lot of characters be represented in Smash, I think it's crazy that Fire Emblem only has 2 Mii Fighter costumes. So I'd be down with another one, and Lyn is definitely highly requested, so I think throwing them a bone and giving them a Mii costume would just do the trick. Obviously, you're not going to make everybody happy, but I feel like it's better than nothing at the moment. And speaking of not making people happy, the next one is definitely going to ruffle some feathers. Minecraft Steve. Now, somehow people think that I am a Minecraft Steve hater, and that's not at all the case. If he became a full fighter, I'd be totally okay with it. I've just never been super adamant about Steve, and I think that's the nicest way that I can say it. Before it was because of Banjo, but now that Banjo's in, I don't really care if Steve gets in. I'm still just not super excited about the thought of Steve. Not that I would hate him or anything. I mean, more power to the people who want him and more power to being able to put more characters in Smash. I just don't personally want him on like my top 5 list. So if I'm pulling the strings, if I'm making the calls, I think that a Minecraft Steve or Alex or both skin would be perfect. I know there are moveset concepts and people have been really attached to the idea of Steve in Smash, but I think that he would work really well as a sword fighter. And again, it's kind of like Lyn, where if we're not going to get him as a fighter, then definitely throw the Steve fans a bone and give him a Mii Fighter costume. I mean, it's the same way that Sans fans wanted Sans in Smash, and then they got totally shocked by him being a Mii Fighter costume. The same thing could apply here for Steve. I also mentioned Alex, who is the female default character. Steve is the male default character, so it'd be cool to see both of them in the game. And I think it would also be really neat if we had a creeper hat, because creepers are really, really iconic, and they are a huge part of Minecraft, a huge part of the merchandising and just the recognition. I mean, people know what the creeper pattern is. They at least can recognize that that's Minecraft, and I think that's a huge deal. I don't really think that there's enough to make it a full character. It doesn't really use its arms, so making it a brawler would be weird, and gunner and sword fighter don't make sense either. So I think it would be perfect to just make it a hat in a similar way that we had Morgana, for example. That just probably is perfect, but I definitely think that if we're somehow gonna get Steve as a Mii Fighter costume, then a creeper hat just has to come with him. I mean, they're just a package deal at that point. It's like cookies without milk. But let me take a moment here to thank our sponsor, Squarespace. From websites, online stores, marketing tools, and analytics, Squarespace is here to help you up your online presence. Whether you're an entrepreneur, small business owner, blogger, musician, whatever, Squarespace has got your back. Squarespace makes it so simple with their all-in-one platform to design a high-quality professional website without the need to have any coding knowledge. So if you want to make the smart decision, head on over to squarespace.com/Aaronitmar to start your free trial. And if you decide you love it, be sure to then use code Aaronitmar at checkout to save 10% off your first website or domain purchase. And while we're on that indie train, I've seen this in a bunch of my videos, both on the Mii Fighter side and just in general, so I'm finally gonna talk about it. We'll talk about Freddy Fazbear as a Mii. Now, I don't really know a ton about Five Nights at Freddy's. I've never really got into it. I kind of missed the hype when the game first came out, and now I just don't even know where to start if I was interested in it, but I know that it is a huge franchise at this point. Between the main creator making a bunch of sequels, between him basically giving his blessing and, assistance in fan games, I've seen merchandise in like Target. I mean, this series is clearly a huge deal. So I feel like it just makes perfect sense to make Freddy Fazbear a Mii Brawler costume. And I don't really know what else to say about this. I mean, I said this in the last video, but I really love how the Mii costumes are really coming together to give indie games a bunch of representation. Obviously, there are a ton of AAA games that just haven't had their character in Smash yet, and I do think that maybe it is a little weird that such huge characters aren't included in Smash, but then, maybe Sans became a full fighter. So I think this really does balance the scales a little bit, where huge characters from other third-party companies become the full-on fighters, but we're still thrown a bone by getting Mii Fighter costumes for the indie characters. So I think that's a perfect opportunity here for Freddy Fazbear as well. Next up is an idea that I'm surprised I actually didn't think of myself, because it, in hindsight, makes a lot of sense, but I saw only like 1 or 2 comments talking about it, so I wanted to talk about it in the video, and that is a Mii costume based on Solaire of Astera. I don't even know if I said that right because I'm so unfamiliar with the series, but that is kind of the poster boy of the Dark Souls series. Dark Souls as a whole is really about character customization. The whole fun of it is making a character that you want to make rather than playing as the character that the game gives you. So you're not playing as a Mario or a Link, you're instead playing as Frankie, the dude whose head is on fire and who beats people up with a guitar. So as a result, main characters really don't exist in the same way that other games do, because you are sort of customizing the main character who plays the game. But Solaire of Astera has become a fan favorite character in the Dark Souls community. They like his attitude, they like his dialogue, and they like the role that he ends up playing in the story as you play through it. And he is so popular, in fact, that when Dark Souls was remastered and brought over to the Nintendo Switch, they also came out with a Solaire of Astera amiibo to go along with it. That should tell you that of all the characters in their game, Solaire of Astera is definitely the most popular, because it's the one they chose to make a figure. So all of that was just to say that I think it would be really cool for him to become a Mii sword fighter character, reference the Dark Souls series, and just give us more costumes, because I love costumes, and this is the only place that we seem to be getting them. And my final idea for this video is a 3-pack which comes from the Wonderful 101 series. Wonder Red, Wonder Green, and Wonder Blue. This is a pretty popular game that Nintendo pushed really hard back when the Wii U was first coming out and that game was releasing, and it actually just recently got a next-gen port, and I think it would be really cool to have them be represented through Mii Fighter costumes. And the cool thing about red, green, and blue is that they each represent basically one of the Mii Fighters. Wonder Red would be a brawler, Wonder Green would be a gunner, and Wonder Blue would be a sword fighter. And that's really all I have to say on the matter, because I just think it would be cool to represent a series that people really enjoy, while also sort of playing with the fact that there are 3 Mii Fighter types, and those 3 characters basically meet those types. And those are my ideas, which means it's now time for you to leave your ideas down in the comments below, and they may make the next Mii Fighter video. Probably about 75% of the costumes that I talked about were seen at some point in the comments of the last video, so that should tell you that I'm actually reading these comments, so let me know if you have any ideas for cool costumes, and I may talk about them in a future video. That's gonna do it. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have an awesome day, and remember to be good to one another.
というところだと思います。